All right, welcome back, everyone. Today, I just want to touch really quickly on the parathyroid glands, which are the tiny round structures that are found embedded in the posterior surface of the thyroid gland. There's going to be a thick connective tissue capsule that'll separate the glands from the thyroid tissue themselves. And most people will have four of them, but occasionally there are more that you'll find in the tissues of the neck or the chest. There's a few different types of cells on them. The function of one type, which are the oxyphil cells, we're actually not sure what they do. But the primary functional cells that you'll find in the parathyroid glands are the chief cells. And those are epithelial cells, and they produce and secrete the parathyroid hormone, which is the major hormone that's involved in regulation of blood calcium levels. Um, Parathyroid hormone is a peptide hormone, and it gets secreted in response to low blood calcium levels. And what that will do is it will cause the release of calcium ions from the bones by stimulating osteoclasts, which secrete enzymes that degrade bone and will release calcium into the interstitial fluid. It'll also inhibit osteoblasts, which are the cells that are involved in bone deposition or building a bone, and that'll spare blood calcium as well. Now, what's interesting is that this is, oh, by the way, this is also controlled by a negative feedback loop. So when you get rising blood calcium levels, that'll inhibit the further release of the parathyroid hormone. What's interesting about that, though, is if you get too much activity of the parathyroid gland, you get what is called hyperparathyroidism, which is a disorder caused by the overproduction of the parathyroid hormone, and it will result in excessive calcium reabsorption from bone. And what that will do is basically decrease bone density, which will lead to spontaneous fractures or deformities. So hyperparathyroidism is not a good thing, to say the least. And then on the other side of that, if you have abnormally low blood calcium levels, that might be caused by parathyroid hormone deficiency called hypoparathyroidism. And basically, it's the opposite of that. If there's too low blood calcium levels, so you're not taking it from the bone or the osteoblasts, what that will result in is muscle twitching, cramping, spasms, convulsion, and that can paralyze muscles including those that are involved in your breathing, and which can be fatal. When blood calcium levels are high, calcitonin is produced and secreted by the parafollicular cells of the thyroid gland. And as discussed earlier, calcitonin inhibits the activity of osteoclasts, reduces the absorption of dietary calcium in the intestine, and signals the kidneys to reabsorb less calcium, resulting in larger amounts of calcium excreted in the urine. All right, and that's pretty much all I want to cover. Really quick one on the parathyroid glands. I'll see you in the next one.